The reason that your projects never get finished has nothing to do with discipline, nothing to do with motivation, and absolutely nothing to do with not wanting it badly enough. The real reason is something far more human and far less your fault. Most creators never finish their projects because the project stopped feeling safe. Let's talk about that. Every creator knows the excitement of starting something new. Those first few days feel electric. You're overflowing with ideas. You can see the final version in your head, and you're certain this is the one that you'll finally finish. And then something shifts. You hit the first moment of resistance, a tricky part, a dip in energy, a day where you're feeling overwhelmed, a life responsibility that interrupts you. And suddenly the project doesn't feel exciting anymore. It feels heavy. So you do what every creator does. You put it down for a few days, and those few days quietly turn into a few weeks. And those few weeks quietly turn into a few months. And before you know it, that idea becomes a ghost, whispering guilt whenever you think about it. But here's the important part. You didn't stop because you stopped caring. You stopped because your nervous system stopped feeling safe enough to continue. And this is the part that no one teaches creators. That part of you that creates, the imaginative, playful, expressive part, that's your inner child. It needs safety. It needs consistency. It needs calm. And it needs a sense of, hey, it's okay to come out now. But the adult version of you is stressed, overworked, tired, and managing bills, jobs, relationships, deadlines, fatigue, and all the things that come with a grown-up life. And yeah, your inner child is very sensitive to that environment. It knows when you're stretched too thin. It knows when you're overwhelmed. It knows when you're exhausted. So what does it do? Naturally, it hides. It retreats and it waits. Not because it doesn't love creating, but because it doesn't trust the environment it's being asked to create in. You didn't lose passion, you lost safety. Let's zoom in on the exact moment that a project stops feeling fun and starts feeling like pressure. It's extremely subtle. Maybe you thought you'd make more progress by now. Maybe you compared yourself to someone else who's 10 years further along the journey than you. Maybe you started questioning whether the idea was good enough. Maybe your adult life simply got loud and your energy shifted. The project that once felt exciting now feels like a threat to your self-esteem. You start telling yourself, if I try again and fail, what does that say about me? And suddenly the stakes feel higher, the pressure kicks in, and your creativity contracts. This is not laziness, it's psychological self-protection. And your brain is built to avoid danger, even emotional danger. And unfinished projects become emotionally risky, so you avoid them. And that makes perfect sense. And yet here you are, beating yourself up for it. Now there is a very specific loop that a lot of creators get stuck in. You start with excitement, you hit resistance, you stop temporarily, you lose momentum, you feel guilty, you avoid the project to avoid the guilt, you start something new to feel productive again, and then you repeat the process. This loop has nothing to do with talent. It has nothing to do with passion, and it has nothing to do with laziness. It's just that the conditions required for consistency were never established. You were relying on motivation instead of environment, on willpower instead of support, on good intentions instead of structure. And the truth is, no human thrives in willpower alone. Not athletes, not entrepreneurs, not authors, not musicians, and certainly not you. If the real problem is safety, then the solution is creating that safety. And here's the good news. It's not complicated. It's not massive, and it doesn't require your entire life to change. Creativity becomes safe again when, 1, you create in predictable containers. Not whenever you have time, not when inspiration strikes, but real, scheduled, protected, repetitive time. Your creative brain loves routine, even if you think you don't. Number 2, you create around people. When someone else is present, even on Zoom, your nervous system relaxes. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop procrastinating. You stop spiraling into shame. You simply show up. This is why the co-working sessions in Friends Who Create work so well. People come in thinking that they're inconsistent, and then within a few weeks, they're more consistent than they've ever been. Not because they changed as people, but because the environment actually supported them. Number 3, you get witnessing. Humans need to be seen. When you create alone for months, your work feels invisible and your momentum dies. But when someone else sees you show up, your brain registers, hey, this matters. And suddenly finishing it becomes easier. It keeps you accountable. And number 4, you reduce shame. You cannot finish a project you feel ashamed about. Full stop. When you're surrounded by people who get how messy and chaotic creativity is, that shame naturally dissolves. And that's when your best work finally emerges. So I want you to breathe this in. You didn't fail your projects. Your projects didn't fail you. Your environment failed both of you. You were never meant to do this alone. You were never meant to carry the weight of adulthood and creativity and consistency, all without zero support. You didn't finish because your creative self didn't feel safe. But you can change that today, this week, now. And once you do, your projects will actually get finished. Your spark will come back, your confidence will come back, and the trust in yourself will return. And that is life-changing for a creator. So that being said, if this video hits home, and if you've abandoned more projects than you can count, and if you're tired of feeling stuck, guilty, or behind, then subscribe to this channel. This channel is here to rebuild your rhythm, your confidence, and your identity as a creator, without shame, without pressure, and definitely without doing it alone.